Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. Today I'd like to bring you a guide for the Cawpine Caverns dungeon. It's also one of those early game returning dungeons we currently have for another 10 days. And recommended power is between 104 and 188, so my team is accordingly powered down to it. However, just to go quickly over the dungeon, the sigil you want is ideally triangle sigil. However, if you also have X sigil, then you can also bring it. As for the elements, lightning is on 3 bosses, but also water is on 2 bosses, and for 1 boss we also need a ice. Other than that, in this particular dungeon you will benefit more if you have both magic DPS, because Mawcrawler magic attacks are effective against this enemy. Death Machine, the same case, magic attacks, and Zetant Ratel, which is the final boss of this dungeon, also magic attacks are effective against this enemy. Also Zetant Ratel, he can grant himself magic buff. Others, they can lower your physical defense, but most of that is fine. Red Dragon can inflict fog on your magical DPS if you're unlucky. However, so you have a lot options how you want to go with it, because 3 are pretty much, you need lightning, and you can choose between either water or earth. And just for Red Dragon you need ice. Other than that, the map, you start here, and this is also this dungeon with a first predetermined route, but then you can choose. First you have to go through the Mawcrawler and then through the Death Machine, and only after that you can choose if you want to go to Motorball or the Red Dragon. However, ideally, and also this here is the final boss. However, also here is the first red chest, the second red chest is here, and the third one is right here. On that, let's go to my team setup. I used my main team, my 3 characters, but I powered them down. As you can see, I missed some slots. Yes, that's the only thing I really need is Sephiroth is ice, so I have 2 more elements on him. But also for Cloud, I have the Maritime Sword in my main hands. This is for the layer boss, and also the Murasame in my second hand. Other than that, I am missing some sub-weapons and materia slots, because what I'm showing you here is the main setup of crucial things that you need. So if you use Sephiroth, the Ice Sephiroth, then you need also 2 other materia, the Lightning and Earth, to also do some big damage on the bosses. And then here you can always equip some physical attack or HP, whatever you need. However, my stats are 7.3 HP on Cloud and 2.6 physical attack. Sephiroth is almost the same, 7.5 HP and 2.6 magical attack. Zack has 9000 HP and 2.1 heal. However, I am using Zack, so I need 2 curas. If you have, for example, Aerith with Fairy Tail, you only need 1 cura just in case for a big single target heal. Zack with Twinkle Star, he has this all cura slot, so it acts pretty much like the Fairy Tail. However, here I'm using also the Judgment Bolt with Ramuh, and Sephiroth has a generic Astral Gate. So let's go. So just to go quickly to the first boss, it's the Mawcrawler, and it's one of those bosses that are sadly weak to magic attacks, so I'm using Cloud and I can compensate with that because of the Murasame that I have. But other than that, as I said, you will benefit much more in this dungeon if you use any magic DPS instead. I am unable to switch, so I will lower my power. I will do everything, even if I have to struggle, but I will keep my team. So here I am just waiting, and I'm just doing the also lightning breach. I forgot to mention that if you have lightning breach, it will benefit you a lot. Just do that, and anyone will benefit from it. I'm just waiting here. You should be fine regardless. I keep both debuffs. It will be ideal because otherwise, if you have OB6, for example, Edged Wings, and you have set it up, then Sephiroth might actually do that instead. So ideally you want to keep that Lightning Breach because it will buff your damage. And Blazing Ray, it is quite powerful, so if you can, try to avoid that. However, if you cannot, it's, well, it sucks. Well, why didn't it switch? Oh no. Alright, I actually pressed space a few times, so I am a little bit confused. However, always go to defense on those big attacks. And actually I tried to cure Azag here. I made it just in time. However, Blazing Ray, for some reason game bugged out on me. However, always switch to defense on those big attacks because they can kill you, especially later in the battle when they buff themselves. However, now we are good to go to the second boss. Only we have to choose one of the trance abilities. So it's Ice Potency, Lightning Potency, and Lightning Resistance. I would suggest use the Lightning Potency if you have a good Sephiroth with the Edged Wings. If not, the Red Dragon, he might actually hurt you, but it's up to you. I think the Lightning Potency is more beneficial in this dungeon because we have 2 more lightning bosses. I will also switch to Zack just to save ADB, and I will allow them to just, my AI to just kill them. And that's fine. And I also have 2 limit breaks ready in case I will have to use them on the next boss. In this dungeon also you need some keys to progress further, because now I don't have any keys, so I have to go to the boss, kill it, and retrieve that key. And here it's the death machine. I will use that. First you want to kill them as fast as possible, those moth slashers, just to receive a little bit less damage. But go into defense before that stomp, so it hurts you a little bit less, and then go back to offense and just kill it. Death machine now, so lightning resistance down and kill it with either water or lightning. And this is also fine. Normally for most of the sigils you need only 1. Actually 2 characters are very safe to use both of them, and you don't really need all the sigils on all characters all the time. Alright, that's the second boss. And again, new trance abilities we can choose. Healing Potency, Lightning Resistance, and Lightning Resistance. It is up to you. If you struggle with your healer, I would choose this one. However, I will choose Lightning Resistance, just in case for the last boss. And here now we can progress. We have 1 key. The rest of this path is blocked, so we can just go to the next boss. And here behind this wall is the final boss in the dungeon. And I will just check to be sure. Map. Oh yeah, here are 2 huts with 2 chests. Here's 1 boss. And actually I will leave dragon for last. I'll just go to the water ball. In my case, it doesn't really matter which one I choose because I have Cloud and Cloud with the Murasame and Sephiroth with edged wings. However, I just think this one is a little bit better to try to kill it as fast as possible. I am on Zag, just to control his ADB. I'll wait here for the energy cannon. And if you can, of course, just try to kill those sigils, or you can actually, if you are strong enough, you can ignore the sigils. And now I'll just use anything to break those sigils as fast as possible. These diamond sigil, you can only have 1 character or 2 characters, specific characters in a game that have that. They are Matt, Barrett, I think, Glenn, Lucia, and someone else, but none of my team, they actually have those sigils. After that sigil phase, just finish the boss. And that was very quick. Obviously, if you have a much stronger team, this will be a lot quicker if you need to redo this dungeon. I personally had to redo 2 dungeons to get S+, because I couldn't do it back on the original run. And again, the trance abilities, water potency, ice potency, and healing potency. Now, right here, you have to choose. If you have left the dragon and you are struggling with ice, you can choose the ice potency. However, I will be choosing water potency because the last final boss, I will be using Cloud for that, for a little bit more damage here. Actually, I will go back. Did I leave anything here? Yes. Right here is also the chest that you want to grab. And here you will meet 2 enemies. It should be 2. Yes, so I am back to switch to Zack again to control his ADB. Actually, I might have to do some... No, I am saving because we also have 2 other enemies, so... They can do quite a lot of damage if you cannot kill them fast enough. And now it's fine. Only the dragon and the last boss is remaining. And actually I did a little bit of a mistake because I personally am using Cloud. However, in this setup I could have equipped Sephiroth with a water, so he would also benefit from that water potency that I chose. By the way, I am very curious about this dragon, if they chose this specific design, if they made the model, or most likely it might be from the Rebirth game that's coming very soon. And here you can actually choose if you want to go sigils or you want to just kill the dragon. I am personally just killing him. However, if you do not have the DPS, I would suggest just go and break the sigils first. Over here I'm fine, and I'll switch to Zac to save a little bit ADB. However, I also need to use some items just in case. And also, I have not been using any limit breaks. However, I always recommend, as soon as your limit break is ready, always use it on the boss, unless it's almost dead. It'll just make the fight a little bit quicker. And the last thing is, that's the same thing. Healing potency, lightning potency, and earth potency. Lightning potency, if you killed Marble first, then you don't need it anymore. However, it's the earth potency. However, they both come with this lightning resistance down. So that means if Zetant Ratel will target one of your characters, they are dead. However, just to use, I can actually use Cottage as well. That's fine. And do I have anything? Yeah, actually I will use the Power Jelly on the Cloud. And other than that, sadly we don't have anything else. It would be nice if we had any elemental potency up. So as you can see, all the boss is done and only Zetant Ratel he's remaining. Nope, not this one. And to be honest, I use items. I sometimes forget to use items. However, in those dungeons you can use quite a lot of items and still get S+, so don't worry about it. I will heal. Here I will just decrease the magic defense down because I want to do as much DPS as I can. Zetant Ratel and Small Crawler, they are immune to physical resistance down, so at least you can do that. Oh, I forgot, you can't. He's immune. He doesn't resist. However, you cannot do Lightning Breach on him. We do not have any other elemental breaches currently. And cooldown. This is the time where he's very vulnerable to all your attacks. So ideally you can do your limit breaks or summons. I use the light Ramu summon. However, it is also, you could use the normal cross slash limit break because Zetant Ratel, he actually resists lightning, so I was at disadvantage. However, for the other three bosses, you are very welcome to use Ramu. And right now, one of my characters, they will get targeted. Actually, not really. I forgot it has the sigil phase. More Crawler never has sigil phase, but Zetant Ratel, yeah, but also they are very similar, so it's easy to confuse them. And we only need one more sigil and we're good. And now just finish the boss. As you can see, only with two characters with sigils, it is very easy to also debuff the boss and do those sigils. But as you can see, he's buffing himself a lot, so it is impossible to survive that attack if you are not quick enough to finish him off before that. However, as you can see, my team is quite a lot of depowered, so if you are around at the similar level, you shouldn't struggle in this dungeon. So that should be it, and I think it definitely is S+ and above, because you need 700,000 points for the S+. Yeah, that's a lot more. So just follow this route and you should be good. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope it was a helpful guide to you, and I hope to see you next one.